Good morning, everyone. Hope all is well. Hope everyone's doing all right. Right now, waiting on a few people to get in, so let's give them a chance to do so. All right, so we got like one person, so we should be okay. All right, so once again, good morning. Hope all is well. Hope everyone's doing all right. Um, Welcome to a new semester, right? So my name is Mr. Tucker. I will be your instructor for this semester. And this is what 155. Yep, 155. Just want to make sure I have my classes right. So hopefully, and I believe you guys did, we were able to get those emails that I sent out to you guys. That's how you got the Zoom information, right? So if you ever are wondering if I have sent out any emails, oh, my stuff is in the way. Any emails I send to you guys, I will be communicating with you guys through email, of course. This class is set up virtually, so this will be the only way that we will meet through Zoom. But when you go to Canvas and go to your announcements, any class emails that I send, I will archive right here. So you see the 4 emails that I've sent to you guys already. So let's just say, like I said, you haven't seen anything from me in a while, and you're wondering if I had sent out anything to the class. Once again, you can go to Canvas and go to announcements. Oh, got a few more people in here. Okay, there we go. Go to Canvas, go to announcements, and all your emails will always be archived there. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. So we will meet at your regularly scheduled time, Monday, Wednesdays, 10:30, unless otherwise stated. And of course, I will shoot that email if I have any type of issues or something like that. But normally I'll be here every day. Every Zoom session is recorded. Um, what I end up doing is converting them to a YouTube link, and I will send them out to you by the end of the week. So if you by some chance miss class, um, that recording will be coming soon. Normally I do it on a Friday. If I can get it done Thursday evening, then I'll get it, make it happen. Every now and then somebody may request, like, can I get it tonight? If I can make it happen, then I will. There's nothing wrong with that. If you make the request, I'll do whatever I can to make it happen. But normally those video lectures go out on a Friday, and I'll send you an email with both of those links, with Monday and Wednesday links for that week. So I send those out weekly. So if you miss class, you will be able to get a copy of the lecture. So you don't have to worry about what you missed, what you may have missed. You'll be able to check it out later. Let's see. So going to request live transcript, maybe. Sure. All right. So now going to our third email, required materials, Math Lab access. So in order for you to pass the class, you have to have access to Math Lab. There's no way to get access to your assignments without Math Lab. So the way you would register, go to mathlab.com, hit register now. I'll show you that in a second. Notice I didn't have a course ID for you. I was having some issues for some reason with this shell. So hopefully by next class, hopefully by the evening, I'll be able to send that course ID to you. I need to get with the rep again. They tried something, didn't work. I think they tried something 2 or 3 times, didn't work the way I wanted it to. So by next class, most definitely I'll have that course ID for you, and I'll show you how MathLab works in a second. But yeah, so what you will have is your course ID, and then from there you have 3 options. You would either have an access code that you've already purchased outside of Pearson. So either you purchased it through TCC, Barnes and Noble, or you purchased the code from a friend or from Amazon, something like that. But you purchase access code from somebody else. You can input the 16-digit access code. If you have not purchased access, but you want to go ahead and purchase access now, you can purchase it through WebAssign, through Pearson itself. So that would be your second option. if you don't want to, if you have not purchased the code, don't want to purchase access right now, you can use the 14-day free pass, which would be a little link down at the bottom of the screen when you go to register. All right. Any questions on anything I said here? All right. And so before we go actually to the website, I keep wanting to say web assignment, that's another class. Before we go actually to MathLab, I want to go through the other email, make sure we're okay with how we will be using MathLab. So once again, you cannot pass a class without access to MathLab, without, because all of your assignments, all of your tests, anything we do will be generated through MathLab. Now, in order to solidify your attendance, you have to show activity in MathLab. So I will be looking at attendance through Zoom, but like today we had a few people that came in late. It would be hard for me to go and then start going through all of the names. We have a large list of students in this class trying to figure out who's here, who's not, who came in late and everything. So the best way for me to get your attendance will be through MathLab, and that would just be your activity. It's not saying that anything has to be due like you have to complete an assignment every week. It's not necessarily saying it like that. Just that if you know you didn't show up, if anything, just go in there, go into a homework assignment, hit save and come out. That will solidify your attendance for that week. So all of your attendance will be solidified through MathLab. Because remember I said that you can miss class and still be okay because I'm going to send you a copy of the lecture. So if you were to go view the lecture, but you didn't come to class, there's no way for me to know that you took a look at the lecture. So the way, once again, I'll be able to know that you came to class or knew that you put activity in will be through MathLab. So make sure you are active in MathLab so that when I have to go do drops, because financial aid is real big on that, you're not accounted as any of those. And then also, if you're having any issues with attendance, with MathLab, anything, make sure you email me. Let me know so that lines of communication is open, and I won't look at you as one of those people who tend to fall off the face of the earth. Every semester, I have people that just drop. They don't drop the class. They just stop everything. They don't withdraw. They don't drop the class. They don't do assignments. They just stop communication. And unfortunately, with those people, I don't have a choice but to give you an F. If you don't want me to put you in that category, email me, talk to me, and I'll work with you. I don't have a problem with doing that. I just need to know that you're out there still trying to make it happen. All right. So when it comes to homework, notice that you have unlimited amount of times to get the best grade possible. So of course, with unlimited amount of attempts, there's no such thing as unlimited amount of problems. So I will be looking at you scoring at least a 75 or better on your homework assignments. 75 to 84.9 will give you a 90% in my grade book. 85 to 100 will give you 100%. So that's how we'll be looking at your homeworks. All right. Test reviews are not mandatory. They're not mandatory. You don't have to do them. Don't have to make an attempt at all. But if you go in there and you score 85 or better on it, I will add 5 points to that respective test. All right. You will have a test review for every test that you have, and you will get 2 attempts on the actual test itself. So once again, notice the difference between your test and your homework. Your homework, you get unlimited attempts. Test and your test itself, you get 2 attempts. Test reviews are set up like homework. They're unlimited as well. Also, with your tests, your grades are what they are. So if you get a 75 on your test, then you get a 75. Let's see somebody in the chat. You don't get a good score the first time. Yes, the homework, you can keep doing it. And I'm about to go into homework, show you how it works, go into MathLab and show you how to work. With the homework, you can keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it until you get the grade that you desire. So it's unlimited. Yeah. Now, once again, with the test, let's say if you don't score what you would like to score the first time, then you can take it one more time. You get 2 shots for your test. And even if you wanted an extra attempt, let's say, stuff didn't go right the first time, you just see if you can get an extra attempt. It's all about communication. I don't have a problem with doing anything. It's all about communication. Any test submissions that you want to email me your scratch work. So make sure you email that. Checking out one thing, just thought about something. Okay, good, cool. So make sure you email a copy of scratch work. however you decide to do the so, whether it be scanning it, taking a picture with your phone, either way is fine. Let's see. Not necessarily for every question. No, somebody, yeah, you guys can see that's not direct. But no, you don't have to have a scratch work necessarily for every question. But for every test, though, there should be some kind of work. You know what I mean? So not, like I said, not necessarily for every question, though. So good question, good question.
Just to confirm, the tests are through MathLab as well, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Everything you do, every assignment that I assign, whether it be homework, tests, or anything, it will be through MathLab. Yep. All right. Anything else on anything that I've said? Any questions on anything I've said up to this point before we go to MathLab itself? Anybody? Okay.
Did you say that you were going to give us the code
Yes.
to get into MathLab, the course code?
Yes. I'm waiting on something weird is happening with creating you guys shell for some reason. So I'm waiting for the MathLab rep to correct that. And so as soon as I get that straight, I'll send that to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, not a problem. So let's do this. Let me close this, sign out. So the way you would do it, you would just go mymathlab.com. And notice if you already have everything set up, you would just go to sign in. But if you're talking about registering, you register now as a student. Click OK. Here you would type in the code that I have not given you guys yet, but I will give you hopefully before the day is out. It will be something very similar to this Tucker, and a string of numbers. Hit register. If you already have a Pearson account, you would just go ahead and log in right here. If not, you would hit create. Notice the course would be right here. Once again, this is not your course. You guys are 155. This is coming out of my 245 class. But you hit create, and then here, put in all your information to create your course. Once again, if you already have a MathLab course, already have a MathLab account, you would just go here and sign in. All right. So let me show you how this thing looks. Of course, you guys wouldn't see all of these classes. No, let me go back to my 245. All right, so you guys would have your homework tab and you would be able to see all of your homework for the whole semester. The way we will do due dates, and of course this is past due, this is not your shell. Once again, I got to give you guys, create the shell for you guys. Just, like I said, we having issues, but you have your due dates right here, and then you'll see all of your homework. Our due dates will be set according to how we progress throughout the course. Once we get started in lectures on next class, we'll start, progress throughout the course, and then we'll set a due date. Let's say we're in chapter 1, we'll set a due date for chapter 1's content. And then as we finish chapter 2, we'll set a due date for chapter 2's content. So we'll be setting the due dates for the course as we progress throughout the course. But if you want to work ahead, all of your work will be up there. You can work ahead if you like. So that will be a homework tab. You can click on all assignments to be able to see everything, if tests and all the stuff like that. If you just want to see tests, then you can just click on that and you'll just see your tests. All right. Let's see. Okay, now probably the first 2 tests will be unproctored. That means you can do it on your own. I know at some point we will do a proctored test because we are supposed to be simulating the classroom situation. So, we'll talk about that as we get closer to something like that. But your first 2 tests you will be able to do on your own and knock them out at your leisure. Of course, you'll have your due date that will be set up for you. But questions on setup before we actually go into an assignment? Any questions on setup?
I have a question on the test. Can you take a test ahead, or is it only open for like 24 hours? Like on
Oh,
the
no,
due
no,
date?
no. No, it will be set ahead. So what'll happen is, for your first, especially for your first two tests, you will already be able to see it. And
Okay.
so once we set the due date, you'll just have till that due date to get it done, but it'll already be available. So if you're working ahead and you're ready to take the test, you can take it whenever. And so my due dates are normally on a Sunday. You just have to knock it out before Sunday midnight.
Thank you.
Yep, not a problem. Yep, no 24-hour constraints. No 24-hour constraints. All right, so let's see. I think we're good on setup. Okay, let's actually go into an assignment so I can show you how it looks. So this view, of course, you guys wouldn't see this type of view. This is just what I have. All right, so let's go to one. Yep. So let's say if I was doing this problem, I'm just putting in anything. I hit check answer. If I get it wrong, they'll give me some type of hint. Check it again, hint. And then so they give you 3 chances to get the answer correct. Certain ones, let's say if it's a true false question, they may only give you 1 shot because true false, if you get it wrong, then you know what the answer is, but you'll always be able to reset it. No conditions better on a laptop doing me. Oh yeah, that's most definitely, that's fine. If you want to log in on your phone, that's fine. So do you find check? If I get it wrong, they'll tell you what the correct answer is. This one is a multi-step problem. So let me go ahead and do this. All right, so notice here it says similar question, or go to the next question. So if you're just done with that one for right now, you don't want to do it over, you just go to the next question. Or if you want to reset it, hit similar question. If you don't reset it at that moment, similar question option will be right down here. And if you hit that, that resets the problem. Very similar, just different numbers, and they're asking you the same thing. All right. So now if you get it wrong, you have a red X right here. If you get it right, it'll be a green check. Now, if you got one of them right, one of them wrong within the problem, remember this was more than one answer to it. It will be a green check / red X. Let you know you got part of it right, part of it wrong. That will also be right here as well. Now your help me solve this tools, or your help buttons are down here. So help me solve this. Normally people don't click on that one unless they're just frustrated and done with the problem that you're dealing with, because it will help you solve this problem right here, walk you through it, and then automatically reset that problem because they just help you solve it, right? So most people like to click on view an example. So you view an example that's very similar to it, and it'll walk you through that problem step by step, and then you can take what you saw there and apply it to this one. So once again, most people hit view an example. Other options, most of them will have a video, not necessarily all of them, depending on the complexity of the problem, will have a video of someone else, not me, one of Pearson's instructors, discussing this problem. Textbook will send you to the textbook where this problem is discussed. And I think 155 has StatCrunch, but it's just Pearson's version of Excel. So you don't really have to use that unless you want to. As my instructor right here is, it will send me an email telling me that you had a problem with this problem and you asking for help. Now, sometimes, every now and then, I don't get that that ask my instructor. So if you send me an email through Pearson and for some reason I don't respond, within the 24 to 48 hour thing, feel free to shoot me another email just regularly, so to make sure that I got it. So every now and then I don't get them for some reason. All right, questions on MathLab and how to go with the assignments so far? Any questions? Okay, let's go back here. Trying to think, do you guys have this grade book? This is 155. I don't think you guys have definitions. Let's go back. I think that was my other class you made. Oh, yep, I do have some definitions for you guys. Okay, so like I said, I haven't given you guys this code because once again, it's not, populated properly. But hopefully, like I said, by the end of the day, I'll be able to shoot you that course ID. So what's going to happen is your first assignment. And if I'm not mistaken, because you got assignments out of chapter 3, it really messed me up not having my shell straight. But let me take a look at it. Matter of fact, let me do this. Okay. Yep. Okay. So this class is very, very similar to my stats class, my 245. So what's going to happen is this is how your assignments will be set up. Once you get in there, you'll see chapter 1 and chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and we go down to chapter 10. Some of these sections aren't supposed to be here though. So like I said, I'll give you the correct one by the end hopefully by the end of today. So chapter 1 and chapter 2 are definition based. So I'm not going to actually have a full lecture on chapter 1 and chapter 2. Next class, we'll look into talking about a few things out of chapter 2, a few things that people had questions on in the past, but they're basically definitions. So to eliminate the process of me writing down definitions and you copying them, you falling asleep while you're copying and I'm falling asleep while I'm writing, you have your first assignment to be chapter 1 and chapter 2 definitions right here. So notice chapter 1 and chapter 1 is 2 pages. And I'll show you where these definitions are in a second. And chapter 2, I think it's 2 pages as well. Wait for it to come up. Oh, yep, 2 pages is short. The only reason I'm saying that is because a lot of times some people would not see 2 pages and they'll only send me 1 page and I have to say, go check that out. So both of them are 2 pages. This one only have 2 problems. 2 words up here. But when you're dealing with statistics, statistics has its own language. So these terms, it's always to your benefit to be exposed to these terms before we actually get into calculation. So now where you can find these, you have chapter contents right here in e-text. Remember I mentioned that, well, it's in the email. I don't know if I actually verbally said it, that once you get access to MathLab, you will have access to the e-text. That's why you don't have to purchase a copy of the book. So you can either hit e-text or chapter contents. And I hit chapter opener. Just waiting for it to load. All right, so here you go. It's the same book that you would get if you had any in your hand. So you can go pages, click pages right here. Or if you wanted, you can go right here. Not table of contents, go to search. You can type page numbers right here and it will take you to certain pages. If you want to go to page 4 or 40, stuff like that. So. All right, so this definition assignment wasn't made to be hard. It's straightforward. They're all in order. Notice that you have right here statistics. Your words are all bolded in some fashion. Statistics is your first definition. So that's where you will get your answer from. So I'm not asking you to go to Google or anything like that. All of your answers are right here. Go to the next page. Your next word should be variation, then data. So you see it's all in order. It's not made to be a hard assignment. It's actually made to be an easy 100. And like I said, it's supposed to familiarize you guys with the terminology that you are going to see throughout the course, give you a solid foundation moving forward. Then your homework in MathLab for chapters 1 and chapter 2 are basically definition based, are these same definitions. So you should come across those answers throughout your definitions and you're just picking the right one. Then chapter 2 has some graphs. So if you see any pie graphs or bar graphs that you don't understand or is a little fuzzy, all you have to do is ask, Every day is opportunity for questions. I do not plan to lecture for an hour and 15 minutes. I'm gonna lecture you for a short amount of time. Then from there, I will be done lecturing. Now, from that point forward, you have a decision to make. Either you are done or you have questions. If you don't have any questions, you don't have to stay. But you do have the full class period to ask whatever question you want to ask. So if you want to come to office hours, you can. I haven't set office hours yet because of the fluctuation of courses, like classes are being dropped and just different things. I will give you office hours soon, but once I set the office hours, you'll be able to come there. But you can always ask questions in class as well. Only thing I ask is that whether you come to office hours or you ask questions in class, that you have an actual problem that you want to discuss. In other words, don't just say, I have a problem with standard deviation. Well, help me help you bring a problem. So in other words, do your part by going into math lab, seeing what you can and cannot do. Let's say if you get into math lab and you have a problem doing number 1, then bring number 1 to class. Say I had a problem with 3.1 number 1. I just couldn't get past the first problem. That helps me and that helps you. So we can streamline our time and make proper use of, pretty much our time, especially when it comes to office hours, because if you come to office hours, everything's done through Zoom. You may not be the only one in the office hours. So I will be, taking turns doing rotation on helping people. But if you don't even have a question or have a question set up for us to address, now we got to try to find the problem. So prevent that type of situation by actually bringing your problems to me. Chapter definition, can we use Google Doc and submit it? Okay, so yeah, great question. So as far as submitting your definitions, it's up to you how you want to do it. People do it various ways. Sometimes people write it out in a notebook, take a picture of it with their phone, then shoot that to me. Some people download it and then type it up, then shoot that to me through Word. And then some people like one of your classmates mentioned, I don't know if it was a direct message or not, but use Google Docs. So whatever way you want to do it, as long as I get it. So if I click on your Google Docs and then you didn't give me access, I'll just email you back, I don't have access, or you didn't give me access. And whatever way, if I get it, I'll let you know, received. I'll send you an email back in response saying got it. And then at some point I will give you, type in the grade for math lab. Should be easy 100 for all of this, but yep. Questions, any questions? Everybody
When
good?
is due?
Yep. Was gonna get to that date. Let me see. So next Wednesday should be a good due date for us, especially since we're not even having class on Monday. You'll have access to these definitions before the end of the day. Like I said, hopefully they will have the shell set up. If not, then I will just have to, I'll make some stuff happen. You will have access to those definitions by the end of the day. So we need to purchase access code for Math Lab. Yes, so you have to purchase the access code. I will give you a course ID that gives you access to the shell, but access code gives you full access to the course throughout the semester. So yeah, you will have to purchase access code at some point. Yep, not a problem. Any questions? Any other questions before I go somewhere else? Everybody good with everything I've said up to this point?
Are the tests cumulative?
No, your final exam is, but each test is just on each block. So your test, first test should be 1, 2, second test 3, 4, next test 5, 6, and so on. So there'll be 2 chapters per test. Let's see, lectures. I think I have said everything I want to say. So let's go here. Summer system. Right, next Monday. Well, yeah, next Monday, Martin Luther King birthday. So we should be good on that. No class. So one last thing. No, that was somebody else. So if you didn't have my email, that is my email address, btucker@tcc.edu. Now, let me see, 155. the way I'm going to do your due dates, I just thought about it. All right, so once I get everything set up, the way I'll do your due dates is that you will have a hard due date on May 1st. That is the Sunday. I think this class ends on May 2nd, which is a Monday. That means we were already taking our final exam. I'm talking about in the SIS, it ends on Monday. So I will give you guys till that Sunday, May 1st, and you'll see it in Math Lab. So now what that means is that will leave room for life to happen, and you don't really necessarily have to ask me for an extension throughout the course. So all of your Math Lab assignments will be due on May 1st, but just because it's due on May 1st does not mean you're not behind. And so what I mean by that is that you always be able to gauge yourself with the lecture. So if we are in chapter 5 and you're still in chapter 3, then you know you're behind. But that doesn't mean that you're about to fail the course. You just need to pick up the pace and get your stuff done. Chapter 1 and chapter 2 will be light in content. And what I mean by that is that, like I said, it's definition and graphs. So take advantage of the fact that you have chapter 1, chapter 2, that you can, pretty much knock out by just doing definitions and graphs. I would say that, by the 31st, you don't want to be in chapter 1 and chapter 2 after January. What's going to happen is those definitions really take place of the lecture, replace the lecture. I'm not going to give any full lecture on chapter 1 and chapter 2 because it's just definitions. I will talk a little bit on chapter 2 on next class, but it's not going to be a full lecture, just talking about a few things that people have questions on in the past. But from there, the next class that we actually do a full lecture will really be on Wednesday, and we'll get into chapter 3. So everything's open. You can knock out stuff, get it done, get it out the way. Try not to procrastinate too much. Somebody go, let me cut that off. But that's how we'll be looking at it. So definitions for chapters 1 and 2, that will be due on the 19th, which is next Wednesday. I will be looking for those to be knocked out. But your My Math Lab work and the first test really isn't due till the 1st. But once again, just because it's not due does not mean you're not behind. You do want to make sure you're progressing throughout the course as we progress with the lecture. So once again, just making sure we understand, if I'm on chapter 6 and you're still in chapter 2, you're behind, right? You can get caught up without any penalty because it's not due till the 1st, but you don't want to put yourself in that type of position if you don't have to. So you want to continually progress throughout the course and knock the stuff out. This stuff was not made to be done in one weekend. A lot of people have tried, or say many have tried, many have failed. What you don't want to do is put yourself in a position in which you cannot walk away from it and you cannot take a break. You don't want to try to do all of chapters 1 through 4 on a Saturday. That's stressful, and you don't have to put yourself through that. I've had people say, hey, Mr. Tucker, I got off this Saturday, sent the kids to my mother's house. I got the whole day to just knock out Math Lab work. Then next thing you know, the dog got to go to the vet. Goldfish jumped out of the bowl. Whatever could happen happens and prevents you from being able to do this work. I'm telling you, it happens, man. I'm trying to tell you, it happens. So you don't want to put yourself in that type of position if you don't have to. So progressively do this stuff as we progress throughout the course. Once I shoot you this course ID, once again, my goal is to get it to you before the end of the day. Start looking into it, start getting yourself familiarized with it, start knocking this stuff out. Questions on anything? Questions.
Do we need a certain calculator for your class?
Nah, not really. Scientific calculator always work, but just really a basic full function calculator would be, okay. Because what's going to end up happening, we're going to get to a point where I'm going to give you or suggest certain websites to use. So really, there's not a calculator that you're going to have because I'll show you different things you can use that are free. How much does each test count towards your final grade? So when you look at the syllabus, I didn't show you this in Math Lab. All right, get out of here. Zoom. Sorry, my Zoom screen is in my way. There we go. All right. Oh, went back too far. Sorry about that. So your syllabus, yeah, okay. Well, your syllabus will be right here. Like I said, when I get my real shell, you'll see it right here. It'll be up in here. You'll be able to click on it and see it just like you're able to see, these definitions. Your syllabus will pop up in the same fashion. But it'll have that information. Somebody had asked me about how much the grade count for. I'll go to that in a second, but I'll just show you where you'll be able to reference it. Once we open it, an assignment, do we need to finish it in one sit? Okay, so your homework, you can go in and out of it at your leisure. You can save it and, and so it's not a problem. Now your test though, you're supposed to finish those in one sitting. But the way you can get around that is that when you go to, see, I went here, but let me go back here. Let's say if you're doing a test and you're done, you just can't do it right now. Do not hit submit. If you hit submit, then that's your grade. What you do, and don't log off. What you do is just hit this X right up here, and that'll kick you out. And it'll treat it as if an interruption occurred or if a blackout happened, and you'll be able to pick up where you left off. So that's how you can do your test. Your test, the only thing that worked that way, because your test is supposed to be done in one sitting. So that's just the way that you can get around that. Now, if that doesn't work for everything, so if you go into another Pearson product and the teacher has different settings, it may or may not work. I know I've had other students to try the other classes and they emailed me back, hey, Mr. Tucker, it did work, so I'm not showing you a way to cheat another teacher's system. I'm just telling you how it can help you in my class. So once again, if you're in a test and you're fried, your brain is fried for the day, you thought you'd be able to do it, you can't do it, and you don't want to get just a bad grade because you're not ready for it, hit the X button right here, and that will kick you out of the whole test, but then you'll be able to pick up where you left off as far as your test is concerned. All right. Homeworks though, once again, your homeworks, you can freely go in and out of them, or you can just hit save, but your tests aren't set up that way. Yep, not a problem, not a problem. All right, so let's go back to this percentage points. So now your homework will be 30% of your grade, your test, and then we have your final exam. If I'm not mistaken, I set it up this way, where your test is 55% and your final exam is 15. So I believe that's the percentages. Only reason I say I believe, I think in one of my other classes, I have it set up 50-20 instead of 55-15. But I think your class is this way. But yep. At the worst, it would be 50-20. But yep. Questions. And what this does, this setup, it sets you up in such a way that, how can I say it? That if you do all your homeworks, it can help boost your grade to the next one. You know what I mean? So that even if you had a D average, if you did your homeworks, it can take you up to a C. So that's if you get 75 or better on all of your assignments. There are 4 tests and then the final exam. 4 tests and then the final exam. All right. Yep, not a problem. Anything else before we go anywhere else? I mentioned due dates, activity, office hours. Told you guys I'll send those, shortly. I think I have said all I wanted to say. So going here, someone say something in the chat. No, there's not a midterm, unless you want it, unless you want one. But no, no, there's not a midterm, just a final exam. So let's see. So I'll be looking for those definitions by next Wednesday. Once again, if you have any issues, make sure you email me. Do not take a 0 if you don't have to. If let's say you need an extra day, talk to me. All you have to do is talk to me. Oh yeah, it's no problem. I was just picking with you about the midterm thing. I was just picking with you. So math lab content, once again, there will be a hard due date at May 1st. But if just because things are not due does not mean you're not behind. Just want to throw it out there again. So you want to make sure that you stay up on your work. Once again, if you're talking about every now and then, I'll set dates out here. Hey, since we're in chapter 5, you should be out of this or something like that, just to remind you to stay on task. So your first type of reminder of that, 31st, you really don't want to still be in chapter 2. So it's just a little marker right there. But if you are, no penalty, just know you need to get caught up. All right. Somebody saying something? We good? Okay. Oh, chat. Yeah, first thing I would do is shoot you my office hours as far as tutoring is concerned. They're always open for you guys to come to. And if for some reason my office hours don't meet your time, you can't make it happen, can't figure it out, then we'll just set up another time to, meet just nothing but a Zoom link, and then we'll, talk it out, make it happen. So yes. So first, like I said, first thing we'll do is try to shoot for office hours. Then from there, if my office hours don't work, then we'll go from there, see what else we can do for you. All right. Any questions? And I'll repeat this. So whether it be office hours, whether it be asking a question in class or something else we set up where it's just me and you, always make sure, my only thing is that you bring your questions so we can make proper use of the time. Once again, your question isn't, I have a problem with standard deviation, or I don't know how to do standard deviation. What helps me to go into this is to know that you at least went into an assignment and saw a problem and saw that you couldn't do it. Then from there, we can do that problem, and then we can walk through the steps. And so that's what's going to help the process. And it also shows that you're invested in the process. Even if it was nothing more. See, I don't know how much you went in. Even if it was nothing more, you just went into the problem and said, oh, I'm just going to pick problem one. At least you did that. So I just need you guys to bring problems to the situation so we can address them. And so that's all I ask of you. I won't even ask where you got it from. You could be asking a problem off of the test. I won't ask you where you got it from. I just want to know what is the problem you want to talk about. Then from there, we'll address it. All right. Also be careful because this class can get away from you quickly. I'll do my best to not give you too much or not put you in a position of having so much at one time, because if I'm not mistaken, let me go here. Let me look at your assignments. Oh, come on, man. Yeah. So chapter 1 and chapter 2, there's no lectures, just definitions. So that means next time we talk, next time we have a full lecture, or the real lecture that we have will be chapter 3. So there are like 4 sections in chapter 3. So if I do 2 sections Monday, which will not take me an hour, 15 minutes. If I do 2 sections on Wednesday, which will not take me an hour, 15 minutes. So that means I could have done more, right? We'll be done with chapter 3. Then that means the next week we'll be looking at chapter 4. Well, there's only 4 sections in chapter 4. So if you're not careful, if you don't stay on task, we'll mess around and be in chapter 5 and you haven't started chapter 2 yet. You know what I mean? So it is going to be on you too. And I'll do my best to pull back and try not to hit you guys with too much at one time, like I said, but it is going to be to your benefit to stay on task. Wednesday, what we're going to do is talk about a few things out of chapter 2 that people have had questions on, like stem leaf plots, then a couple graphs, stuff like that. But we're not going to get into a full lecture until next Wednesday, because Monday we're off. Next Wednesday, we'll look at 3.1. Okay. So questions on anything. That's my email address, vtucker@tcc.edu. Also, you can email me through Canvas as well. I'll get those same, it'll go straight to the same email address. All right. Any questions, concerns, comments before we close it out? Very good, everybody straight. All right, so look forward to having a great semester with you guys. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I'll always be, monitoring emails. Sometimes maybe I'll be able to answer them right then, but between 24 48 hours, I'll get back to you and we'll go from there. So if something you didn't think about, feel free to shoot me that email and we'll address it accordingly. Other than that, you guys have a great day. Be safe. Remember, safety is always a key. That's why we're doing this whole Zoom thing, right? So be safe, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep. You have a good one as well.
Have a good one.
Thanks. You the same. Take care.